go. I promise.
I'm sure it was a heartbreaking moment for you, watching Jack sinking under the cold waters of the North Atlantic Ocean.
Water that cold? Like right down there? It hits you like 1,000 knives.
And maybe you ask yourself, why in the world they didn't share that wooden door, wishing that James Cameron wrote the script differently instead of leaving us in tears.
Did you feel bad at all letting Leo DiCaprio drown?
You'll be right if you tell me Jack sacrificing his life was the reason why the story had an emotional end, making the movie epic. Yet the idea of a new chapter in the Titanic where you can see Rose and Jack extending their love story is somehow tempting.
Where to, miss?
To stars.
If you had the writer's pen, would you stay true to the original script, or you will rescue Jack?
Somebody's life's about to change.
In this video, we will save Jack and see what will happen. Before we do that, let's quickly revisit the story. Jack laid eyes on Rose for the first time in the unsinkable ship, where society manifests itself on a micro level, commoners in their own world segregated from the aristocrats.
You hold a third-class ticket and that your presence here is no longer appropriate.
Yet a love story emerged after Jack saved Rose from throwing herself in the cold waters. Little did he know that he will save her life again later.
Paris. You do get around.
Fast forward, they become friends and then fall in love. Rose's fiancé ended up knowing about the affair and decided to seek vengeance by plotting a coup against Jack with one of his guards by framing him into stealing a precious necklace. Meanwhile, Rose and Jack were having fun on the Titanic till the iceberg struck, making their love story short-lived.
How pathetic is that?
Coming back to our script where we save Jack, and don't ask me how.
Really?
Just kidding, of course I have a theory. The wooden door was enough for Jack to slide in if Rose just gave a little bit of room. And by just using the life jacket by putting it under the floating raft, they could have both made it. By the way, people were obsessed about this ending for years, to the point that James Cameron himself conducted an experiment to debunk the myth of saving Jack.
Final verdict? Jack might have lived.
And with this statement, our theory is valid. If you have another theory, leave it in the comment section, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. In this alternate reality, our lovebirds had a close friend that shared the trauma of the sinking ship.
A woman came aboard named Margaret Brown. We all called her Molly. History would call her the unsinkable Molly Brown.
Molly made sure that Jack had a decent life by helping him again, and this time she gave him more than just a suit.
I was right. You and my son are just about the same size.
Her son was generous with the couple and involved Jack in the business.
You designed the machines?
No.
He started working, she stayed home, and they had a period of time in peace. The love story was about to be happy ever after, till Rose bourgeoisie kicks in and she starts imagining how their lives would be if Jack was rich. And they start creating distance between them and even fights sometimes. In an attempt to fill a void in her life, Rose urged Jack to pursue his passion by pushing him to visit Paris and reconnect with his art.
Paris.
She even was ready to start a career to support him in that.
You won't be getting any kind of a job. Because I will.
But in reality, it was just a way to feel free again. Jack refused her offer,
Not very realistic is all.
but it didn't stop her from joining the corporate world, where she found herself drawn to her boss. Eventually, she fell for him. It feels like karma, by the way.
Good of you to come.
The relationship dynamics become cold, and that pushed Jack to have an affair with a co-worker. So unfortunately, the love crumbled and they had to part ways.
I hate you. You were just some boy who made me laugh at a party once.
Don't hate me if you don't like the end. This is just my realistic point of view.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
In that micro-society, it was fun and adventurous for Rose. Like an escape from the strict upper-class life, Jack introduced to her a whole new world, where it's laid back and cheerful. It was like a summer love. But in the real life, things change, and eventually that sweet feeling they built together fades.
I just wanted to let you know that I've had to send more
Another woman in Rose's shoes might live happy with Jack. I'm not generalizing or saying all women are the same, but after examining Rose's character, this is the theory I find fit.
I don't see what all the fuss is about. It doesn't look any bigger than the Mauritania.
Your daughter is far too difficult to impress, Ruth.
After all, love is not enough and free will might be just an illusion. But who am I to know the answers for these complicated matters? All I can do is imagine the story taking a different turn and dive deep into that. Like for example, Neo taking the blue pill instead of the red one. Did he really have free will in that moment? If you want to know, subscribe because this will be our next video.